Hi everyone! Who else is looking forward to the end of winter and can't wait to get out in the garden and feel the warm sun on your back? I know I am, and I bet many of you are too. Well, February is the prime time to get a head start on your spring vegetable garden. And today I'm going to share with you 5 vegetables that you absolutely should be planting this month. So when the busy spring season is in full swing, you're going to be ahead of the game. And who doesn't love a head start, right? And at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you one of these crops that I've never been successful growing before until this year, and I'll share with you how. All these vegetables can be either started from seed indoors or planted outside directly in your garden beds or containers, depending on where you live. The first vegetable is peas, one of my favorite garden snacks. Now, the way to get ahead with peas is to plant them as early as possible in the spring. As soon as your soil thaws, or as soon as you can work the soil, you can plant seeds in the soil, or you can start directly from transplants. And they are one of my very favorite garden snacks. The great thing about peas and why it's a great crop to plant in February is that they grow very, very fast. These I started indoors from seed just 2 weeks ago, and look at them. They're ready to pop here in the raised bed. The first thing you want to do though is make sure you prepare your soil. Now we just did that on our raised bed refresh video, so go back and watch that so you know exactly what to do. For you southern gardeners in frost-free zones or light frost, you can plant your transplants directly in your garden bed or containers right now here in February. So just dig a little hole, pop it in there, kind of lean it up against the trellis so it winds its way up, and you're good to go. For you northern gardeners though, the ground might still be thawed, so start your seeds indoors under grow lights about 4 weeks before your last frost date, or as soon as the soil can be worked and it thaws out, just pop seeds down into the ground about 1/4 inch, about 2 to 3 inches apart. Now I like to do both, so I have peas coming to harvest at different times. Little tip here to really help your plants get ahead of the game. Make sure that you water at the time of transplanting, because they tend to undergo something called transplant shock. They get a little bit of droopy, and they really need that pick-me-up to get them going. Now, I've been adding Epsom salt by Monterey Lawn and Garden to my watering can when I'm planting, and man, I have noticed such a difference. The plants get perkier, get greener faster, because it contains magnesium sulfate, which really helps with chlorophyll production and really helps them take off. Epsom salt also helps your plants absorb the essential nutrients we added in the last video, like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, even better. It works its magic on your plants by encouraging more blooms and fruits, and who doesn't want that? Vegetable number 2 to get ahead in Feb are onions. Now I've got some onions growing here in my Smart Pots raised bed, and how you get ahead with onions is you gotta start them really early. You can actually start them from seed indoors as early as 3 to 4 months before your last frost date. They hold for a long time in your seed starting containers. I love to just pull them as I eat them for lots of fresh flavor to my food. One way you can get ahead in Feb with your onions is by planting a variety that's well suited for your area. There's different varieties of onions. The long day onions require 14 days or more of sunlight in the summertime to bulb up. Those are very well suited to the northern areas. And short day onions require 10 hours or more of sunlight to bulb up. Really well suited to southern areas like me here in Southern California. And then there's one called day neutral, which you can grow no matter where you live. And of course, the bunching onions grow quickly and easily come to harvest. Let me tell you, these taste as good as they smell. I know you're gonna love growing them as well. And head over and watch our onion video for all the details on planting onions from seed. These onions I started from seed indoors about 8 weeks ago. They're ready to plant out. I love planting onions from seed because it gives you a ton of variety in the garden as opposed to purchasing onion sets at the garden center. Plus, it keeps things really economical. You just poke a hole about 1 inch apart and space your onion bulbs about 6 inches apart. Don't plant them too deep or they won't bulb out. Plant them in full sun. Get yourself an early start, get ahead of the game, and you'll have onions in the garden by late spring. Veggie number 3 is actually an herb, and it's cilantro, a beautiful cool weather herb. And how you get ahead in Feb with cilantro is, again, because it's cool weather, plant it as early as you can. So I've got a little transplant here, and I like to grow cilantro from seed indoors in little cow pots like this because they don't like their roots disturbed. So you can plant this cow pot and all right into your garden beds. Just dig a hole deep enough for the cow pot. And the cow pots are made out of cow manure, so they really do biodegrade easily and definitely don't restrict the roots. So pop it right here in the hole. Don't need to break the cow pot apart. You just completely cover it up. That way the delicate cilantro roots are not disturbed in the slightest. To get ahead of the game, start your seeds indoors about 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost date. Now, cilantro seeds can take about 10 to 14 days to germinate because they have a very hard outer shell. So to speed up germination, soak the seeds in water overnight to soften that hard outer shell, or break them up with a rock or a brick before you plant them so that they germinate quicker. Vegetable number 4 is cabbage. Now, how you get ahead in Feb by planting cabbage is don't plant the big, huge heading varieties, but plant a smaller variety which goes from seed to harvest quicker. My favorite here is the Minuet Chinese cabbage, a beautiful Napa cabbage. It goes from seed to harvest in about 60 days. It's a whole lot easier to grow, especially if you live in a warm climate like I do. This beautiful variety is in my Grow Your Groceries Cool Weather Seed Collection over at CallieKimGardenHome.com. You can start from seed indoors about 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost date, or after your last frost date, you can directly plant seeds right in your garden beds or containers. You want to space your transplants about 12 inches apart, or 2 to 3 plants in a 10-gallon container in full sun or partial shade, as long as you're getting about 4 to 6 hours of sunlight a day. And the heads form in cooler temperatures, above 45 but below 75. You can harvest them in about 6 weeks when the heads are about 8 to 10 inches tall. Vegetable number 6, which has always been a challenge for me to grow, is broccoli. Wait a second. It's cauliflower. Broccoli, cauliflower. Cauliflower, actually it's Broccoflower. And that's why I'm having success with it this year, is because this is Vita Verde cauliflower. And what's great about it is it's heat tolerant, which is good for me here in Southern California with our random warm winter days. And it goes from seed to harvest in about 60 to 70 days, as opposed to 90 days for broccoli or cauliflower. So if you live in a southern climate, frost-free, nice cool winters, this is the one for you. And you've got to take a look at this beautiful green heads. They're absolutely gorgeous. And this one is just about ready for harvesting. I am so excited to finally be successful at growing this vegetable that's been challenging for me. And there's also a smaller head right back here. Oh man, I can't wait to harvest these beauties. Like the other veggies in this video, you want to start your Broccoflower about 4 to 6 weeks indoors before your last frost date. Now, these were started about 8 weeks ago, and I transplanted them into the 5-gallon Smart Pot to give them a little bit more room to grow until my garden bed was ready. So I'm just going to take one out here with my shovel, pop it right here in my planting hole, and as you could see from my other container, these plants can get quite large. So I'm just going to plant one here in this raised bed, and it will grow into that beautiful Broccoflower head, and I'll be harvesting it in about 60 days. There's other veggies that you can plant now in February to get a jump start on your spring garden, including all the ones we mentioned in our January planting video. Greens, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant. If you missed it, watch this video right here for all the details. Which one of these is your favorite? Which one are you going to plant to get ahead in Feb in your vegetable garden? I can't wait to read your comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.